All right, thank you all for coming. Before I introduce the presenter, I want to give a few announcements. The mini brochures at the table, so you guys can pick it up on your way, or if you haven't already picked it up, it has the basic schedule of all the lineup for this semester. It doesn't have the description or additional details. It'll be posted like in 2 weeks' time. We'll have the main brochure out. So until then, pick this up and bear with us. Also, you will find on your seats an ICH instant feedback form. Okay. Basically, what this does is you get to grade the presenter and the presentation, how you felt, and any comments like that. Basically, as you would know, 90% of the I'm putting on a lot of pressure. 90% of the presentations we have at ICH are by students, and most of them are by international students. So your comments will help the students to gauge where they are, where their skills are, as to how their presentation skills is, and it will also probably help them to do better presentations in their school years. So it's very simple. You don't have to identify yourself. You don't need to put your name down. Just identify whether you're staff, faculty, student, or community member. On a scale of 1 to 5, grade how you enjoy the presentation, how effectively the presenter communicated, and stuff like that. It's very simple. At the bottom, you can give specific comments. You can be very candid. You can say, I like the presentation, I didn't like it. Presenter spoke too slow, spoke too fast, looked at the screen, anything like that. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, please take a moment and fill this in. It will take maximum 1 minute. We will tabulate this. We will do our part to tabulate all of this and hand it back to her today and to other presenters in the future to help them, in their school life. So please do that. With regards to the presentation today, we were supposed to have Melanie Halstead, and she was supposed to present on Senegal. She couldn't be here because at the last moment there was a family medical emergency. So our thoughts are with Melanie and the immediate family member. Hope the family member makes it. However, in true ICH fashion, we have, last month we got together, we arranged a presentation. One of our volunteers, Shivani Patel, she stepped up to do the presentation today. She's a kinesiology major in exercise science option, and she's from Kenya, and she's going to do a very interesting presentation on Kenya with an emphasis on the political implications on tourism. So Shivani, over to you.
Gets sworn in overnight in a private event. So people were angry. Tribes were fighting because, as we know, each of them came from a different tribe. And this led to the post-election violence. War broke out. People were killed, lots of people died, and lots of people were internally displaced. It's like the feeling of being a refugee in your own country. Like, you're lost, you're homeless, you have nowhere to go. People ended up in refugee camps or out on the streets, jobless. But as we all know, each country has its ups and downs, but Kenya does have a good side to it. So what makes Kenya what it is?
A land where the horizons were as wide as the smiles could reach you, where moments are timeless and the views are endless. Hear the calling, feel the spirit, find yourself here. Discover real adventure, create lasting memories. Welcome to Kenya. Discover the magic.
You're not going to go to a wildlife park and not see a lion. We have other animals, the rhinos, the buffaloes, and the Maasai warriors are said to have a stare so intense that these animals even fear them. And together, these animals make up what is known as the Big Five. And we've got other animals too. We've got the cheetahs, the zebras, the U.S. Department of State puts up travel advisories to Kenya. Tourism goes down because we're heavily dependent on American tourism. We all know September 11th, that day. So, the same terrorist group, the Al-Qaeda, attacked it. People get afraid to travel. American tourists don't want to leave America because they're afraid. So, and Kenya happens to be on the hit list for these terrorists because the U.S. Navy docks in Kenya. So people don't want to travel to Kenya. And there goes the decline and the fall of the tourism industry. About 39 million. Greater than 39 million. Yeah.
And then the ethnicity?
So we're made up of minorities and majority tribes. So I don't know if you guys have heard of tribes like the Kikuyu and the Kamba and the Luya. Well, the Kikuyu makes up about 27% of them. And then there's the minority tribes, which, like, you wouldn't hear about them often, but they play a big role in the country as it is. People pay up to $500 just so they can meet and greet a Maasai warrior.
Wow.
Yeah.
What languages are spoken now? Like, what languages are taught in school?
Kiswahili.
Is that it?
Yes, and they speak English. English happens to be a national language.
Really? And they teach it in school as well?
Yes, we learned, okay, so basically we were a British colony, so English is a language, and it gets taught in school. We follow the British system of education, and everything we do is British.
How long, when did you leave Kenya? Like, how long?
In August last year.
Really? And so your English is just from Kenya?
Yeah.
All right. All done.
How about religions in Kenya?
There are many different religions. Christianity, I think Christianity is the leading religion. Lots of Christians, lots of Catholic people. And then there's lots of Hindus too. And also, I would like to say Eastern, Armenian, yeah. So there's the private schools, and then there's the local education system. The private schools follow the British system of education. And the local schools, which is, I think they just implemented that local education should be free for, what we have is primary school and secondary school. We don't do grade school. So we don't have first grade, second grade, so we have first to sixth is primary school, and then from then on is secondary school. And so they've just implemented that primary school should be free for you if you can't afford to pay for it. And that would be for like the population living up in the countries or people that don't have a sustainable form of employment.
So secondary still costs, and most people
Yes.
don't go beyond sixth grade?
No, some of them do, like if they're determined enough to. Going to a local school is pretty affordable, but obviously, like if you're from a low-income family, you won't be able to afford to go to private school. But you can still get a basic education with the local system up to 12th grade.
Is gaming legal, like hunting for the wild animals? Or
Yes,
their license?
hunting is illegal and you need a license.
How about ivory? For
Sorry?
elephants too? The killing of elephants for ivory?
Okay, so that used to be a big issue, but there's a ban on ivory trade now, and if you get caught poaching or hunting, the fines are insanely big, the amount you have to pay for it. And they're trying to stop it, but I'm guessing it still happens, but they're pretty serious about it now.
You know, what I would like to say is from my experience is the time that we spend on planet Earth is very short. Okay, so let's learn to love one another, understand one another, and most importantly, celebrate one another. And that's what Coffee is all about. We try to celebrate cultures to the best of our abilities. Today, it was a bit of up and down, but I'd like to thank you all for coming in and being a very patient audience and a very understanding audience. So thank you all. I would like to invite Shivani Patel to come on.
For you, and thank you. And for the coffee that went in the first time. And put it in a mug that came from Fresno.
race is tired.
Yeah. Probably for fall out. Sorry.
So right now I have a whole
When did you get this?
Done.
Congratulations.